Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you are all having a great day to start things off. The Street, a financial news publication founded by Mad Money's Jim Cramer, recently cut out some time to sit down with Changpeng Zhao, who is the CEO of Binance, to get an inside scoop on the exchange's dealings, prospects, and perspectives regarding cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. Speaking with the Street's Jordan French, Zhao touched on a number of subjects from Binance's infant months to the project's agenda and, most interestingly, to the CEO's personal views on institutional interest in this industry. Here's a tweet from him. It says, queried about the influx of institutional involvement in crypto as of late, think of ISIS-backed, TD-backed, ErisX, and Fidelity Digital Asset Services. Zhao, who is a former Bloomberg employee, noted that increased institutional participation is a very good thing. Bringing up a specific example, the Binance CEO explained that Fidelity Investments, a Boston-based investment giant, manages $2 trillion in assets, which is more than 10 times the current aggregate value of all cryptocurrencies. Is actually even like 13, 14 times at the current market. He said the fact that Fidelity is moving into the space by launching digital asset trading services last month suggests that crypto market cap will grow a lot more, end quote. Almost likening the growth of a market to a snowball rolling down a snow-clad hill, Zhao then noted that as this market swells, more investors will be enticed to foray into the market and industry, further boosting prices. He said, talk about the discussability and non-volatility and its relation to institutional investment. He explained that as stability declines, adoption levels both in merchant and investment capacities is likely to improve, subsequently adding that it's just a matter of time. In short, Zhao explained that the arrival of institutional players is basically a very net positive. No, and he talks about U.S. regulations and stuff like that. He pretty much goes on to say that while America tends to lead the pack, Europe and Singapore are slowly gaining speed, and a lot of people aren't really paying attention to what's happening on other parts of the world, like I've been saying before. Pretty much that everyone keeps looking to the U.S. for an answer when it comes to how the market is going to move, or they think that they're the biggest market players. But it's actually most of Asia right now that's doing most of the moving. So despite the market going down and the market not doing as well as we would like it to do, I still think, and I mean, it's difficult to really put into words, but you have to understand that the money that's moving into cryptocurrency is incredibly unfazed by any type of market movements that we may be having. The fact that prices were going sideways and are not even slowly, they're falling, tumbling down the hill right now, doesn't mean a lot to people who have millions or who want to invest millions into the market, because for the long term for them, like I said, they're thinking about these assets potentially even during the next bull run multiplying by 10x or 20x. These are numbers that you cannot get in the stock market unless you are very, very lucky, especially over the course of a 12-month period. There are a lot of members of finance who are now into cryptocurrencies as well, and they all say the exact same thing. There may be periods of doom and gloom where things just aren't as great as we think that they should be. But the point of it is, kind of at the very end of it, is that if you are in this for the long haul, and this is, remember I said at the beginning of the year, for those who were here, I said, I hope you're in it for the long haul. Like, I hope you're in crypto for, I don't want to say the right reasons, because the right reason would be like decentralization. You wouldn't really care about the price. But if you're in this for long-term gains, you're in the right place. If you're in it just to, there are going to be so many people, like, I mean, so many people who are talking about once they get back to the previous levels where the market was and they can take their money out so they just break even. There are going to be a lot of people like that. And that's just kind of how investing works. It is, at the end of the day and at its core, not for everyone. But yeah, let's move on. So India's finally in the news. After years of ambiguity, the Indian government might, at last, reveal a regulatory draft for the cryptocurrency sector in the country before the turn of the year. A panel tasked by India's finance ministry to regulate norms and guidelines for domestic cryptocurrency trading and the blockchain industry is set to lay bare its draft next month, according to a court's report on Tuesday. The notable development came to light in a court affidavit filed by India ruling government in a Supreme Court case which currently sees India's domestic cryptocurrency exchange industry challenging the banking sector for the ban that is enforced on them by the central bank earlier this year. An excerpt from the government's counter affidavit reads, serious efforts are going on for preparation of the draft report and the draft bill on virtual currencies, use of distributed ledger technology in the financial sector, and framework for digital currency in India, end quote. The affidavit goes on to reveal that the draft bill and report will be forwarded to members of the Finance Ministry's Interministerial Committee. Subsequently, the committee will hold a meeting on the drafts, which will be made available to its members sometime in December. First established in 2017, the country's finance ministry formed an intergovernmental committee that was tasked to examine global regulatory and legal frameworks for cryptocurrencies. The committee, which includes India's taxation, budget, and economic affairs ministries, as well as central bank representation, has the mandate of suggesting measures to propose a regulatory framework for cryptocurrencies, both in usage and trading within India. Let's hope that this is the end of it. I've always felt that they've been stalling on purpose. My main thing that it's only solidifying itself as days go by, that the rest of the world was trying to wait for the United States to give them answers as to what they should do with cryptocurrencies, as the U.S. is not doing anything. And we probably, according to certain members of the SEC or what other people are speculating right now, that we may not even have information from the SEC for the next 2 years. Just a number that's been thrown out there. It's time for other countries to finally step up and do what they should have done before. India said that, I'm not in India, obviously, that they were going to give regulations in July, and then in August, and then September, and then I think a lawsuit happened in October. We're now in November, and December should hopefully be the time. Even if it's just a draft, it'll allow people to draft, pretty much meaning that people have to look over it, and then it's probably going to be finalized in some sort of way. But to let people know within the country that on the draft it says that they are allowed to trade cryptocurrencies, that is not illegal, that you can buy, sell, hold it, put it under your bed, wherever you want to do with it, that you are legally allowed to have it. This is the main thing. As far as India actually having, or rather creating their own digital currency for India, okay, I don't think that's going to happen, and I think it has to. Yep, I think it's in the next story. I'm going to tell you exactly why I don't think that it's going to happen, but at least some type of a regulatory framework for the people in India is what I've been waiting for quite some time. Let's move on. Next up, the Bank of Thailand governor claims that the process of creating a central bank digital currency is too lengthy and complicated to allow the country to move from cash to digital currency within the next coming 3 to 5 years. There's a pretty flag. Thailand Central Bank has confirmed that a state-issued digital currency is currently not on the horizon for the country, at least not for the next 3 to 5 years. According to a report by the Thai news agency TNA, Bank of Thailand Governor Virati Santiprabhob stated that while the issuance of a central bank digital currency, or a CBDC, has been successful in some ways in some developed countries, switching from cash to digital currency is not an easy task, owing to factors such as time, the complex nature of the process, people's readiness to adapt to the change, and the efficiency of the technology. Therefore, he added, Thailand is unlikely to make the switch during the next 3 to 5 years. Santiprabhob's comments come just days after the International Monetary Fund chief Christine Lagarde suggested that countries should look into issuing central bank digital currency. Speaking at FinTech Festival in Singapore, Lagarde said, and I quote, "I believe we should consider the possibility to issue digital currency. There may be a role for the state to supply money to the digital economy," end quote. Now, tying into the India story, I don't think many countries are going to get a chance to be able to create their own digital currencies. Remember before, a lot of people were asking, why was there a need? And I mean, like, specifically in my comment section and sometimes on like forums and stuff like that, people were asking, why is there a need for Bitcoin? Or why would a government choose to use Ethereum? Or why would this company so and so decide to use XRP when they can simply make their own systems? These systems are things that have been developed for quite some time. They are incredibly new. Like, this isn't something that we've had since the 80s that has had time to slowly perfect itself and, fall apart, be brought back up, slow and so. Crypto is still a very niche market, and the fact that it's caught on so quick has I want to say potentially annoyed a lot of people in traditional finance, because for years they ignored the entire cryptocurrency space. It was one big joke to all of them. If you look back at articles, let's say even 3 years ago and further back, the amount of things that they said about crypto and that Bitcoin was never going to go anywhere, that blockchain was a farce, that blockchain wasn't going to work, that blockchain couldn't scale, because they thought that Bitcoin was the blockchain. No one actually did any extra research into anything that's happening. So the long story short is, this is why they said anywhere from 3 to 5 years to be able to develop something like this, because no one in any of these other countries has really taken the time to be able to begin to make the framework for people in their country to start to use these cryptocurrencies. Like, you can't just take, like, you saw what happened in India. I had to be last summer at this point. Time is flying by. Where the government told people to pretty much stand in line and to hand over, I can't remember what number bill it was in India, and to like receive other money, because they're trying to get people away. They said from money laundering, but they were trying to get away from the larger bills that they have within the system. People were furious, and people are still very angry at this happening. So you can't tell an entire population to stand in line, go to the bank, hand over all your digital money, sign up for this website, sign up for this, and you will then have a number on a screen somewhere that you can also download an app on your phone so that you can go and buy stuff. It takes an enormous amount of time, and this is why cryptocurrencies have and are in a very special place right now that I hope that they retain, regardless of what the prices are right now. We've had crypto prices collapse completely before, 48-50%, and then be back up 60 days later. The market's stronger than ever. Everyone's has smiles on their faces. What we have, the situation that we have right now is, and I'm hoping that it ends up working out this way for the future of the cryptocurrency sphere, world, projects, blah 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 blah, comes down to, if governments are unwilling, one, to get into the cryptocurrency space and blockchain space because they see that it may take them time. Two, they decide to finally get into it, but it takes them 3 to 5 years as the normal time frame. Like, we've even had news from, it was Russia, it was, can't remember the name of the other countries. There are these 5 countries who've talked about making their own digital cryptocurrencies, and they've noted at some point that they're thinking of working on it, but it could take a couple of years. If we get to the point where Bitcoin becomes popular enough, especially if we have another major bull run where the prices completely explode, a lot of people FOMO into the market, and therefore actually cause them a level of stability that we haven't seen before, simply because there's so many extra players in the market. As of now, it's expected that there anywhere, it's a very wide-ranging number, anywhere from 10 million to 50 million people around the world who are actively into cryptocurrencies. If we can get that number up to around 300, maybe during an 18-month bull market, this will strengthen the cryptocurrency space entirely. It'll solidify it to a wall that no one will be able to take it down from. By the time that other countries finally decide in 3 to 5 years that they want to start creating their own cryptocurrencies or digital bank currencies, blah 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 blah, into the space, the cryptocurrency market will have solidified itself already as an asset class and already as something that people are trading money back and forth with. This is part of the reason why I'm so excited for the backed initiative to finally launch. The cryptocurrency trading aside, that's wonderful, that's great. But the adoption is what's needed. We need people to get into the market. Like I said, and I'll now repeat it again. I said it in the last video. The holiday season is coming up. If you are going back to visit your family members, if you're going to have a Skype call with your family members, mention cryptocurrency to them. We need more people in the market. We need more people we need this to permeate. We need this to get as far as possible so that everyone else realizes what's happening in the market so that they can also get into the market. 3 to 5 years is a very long time, I know. But 3 to 5 years for crypto growth is something that can be astronomical. Didn't mean to spend that much time on an article about Thailand and their central bank. But I think we can do it. And if predictions are correct, I'm not even looking at Mr. McAfee's prediction of a $1 million Bitcoin in 2 years. Even if we just get to just quote unquote to $250,000 Bitcoin in 3.5 years, then the old format of financial living no longer has a chance. If we can get enough people into the market interested in cryptocurrencies, especially before a bull market happens, if we can get enough people into the market before this massive bull run actually ends up happening, and then other people have to get into it. This is why we had news, what was it, 2 days ago, where that guy was talking about, he says that there's a couple million people into cryptocurrencies right now, but he expects within the next decade, 10 years, that there will be at least 1 billion people who are into crypto. That is what we need, and I think we can do it before the central banks around the world decide that they want to issue their own cryptocurrencies. I definitely think it's possible. Let's move on. On the topic of the market slipping, the world's second largest cryptocurrency exchange, known as OKEX, hit back at accusations that it manipulated markets by adjusting Bitcoin Cash's future settlements in a fresh statement on the 20th of November that was sent to Cointelegraph. The exchange, which opted to deliver Bitcoin Cash futures early due to the coin's contentious hard fork on November 15th, subsequently saw a barrage of negative publicity over the decision, pundits complaining it had overstepped its remit in freely deciding when and how contracts would be settled. In particular, a dedicated Medium post by an entity calling itself Amber AI accused OKEX of outright manipulation of the market and one of the most serious acts of fraud in the history of limit order book trading in the cryptocurrency markets. Published on the 19th of November, the post provides a lengthy analysis of the future settlement and further alleges OKEX contradicted its own small print several times during the process, saying that traders lost $24 million due to the move. The post writes, continuing, the course of events surrounding the Bitcoin Cash hard forks are indicative of market manipulation, fraud, and deceit, end quote. Responding to this, the OKEX exchange sent a circular to users in which it said the future settlement charge was based on the consideration of the market integrity and customer interests. In the absence of evidence, Amber AI alleged for us for trading against our own customers and manipulating the markets. I'm not going to even read anymore. I think everyone at this point is trying to figure out what happened, what is happening, who manipulated the market, who did what to it. What we know for certain right now, at least from not even a handful of analysts, is that this is due to Bitcoin Cash, ABC, and Bitcoin Cash, Satoshi Vision. A lot of people are losing confidence and faith in Bitcoin because of this. That's not to say that confidence won't come back within the next couple of weeks, but as of right now, the image is very much tarnished. The image of the 21 million Bitcoin only forever is constantly being shattered every single time. And now I can bet you by next week we'll have at least 4 more of these articles. I don't know if I'll go over them, but we'll definitely have other, unless they're like substantiated, other articles where people are trying to figure out who did what to the market and who manipulated what. I understand the move by OKEX. Everyone, I think people knew from the get-go that, especially with the price boost that Bitcoin Cash was having a couple days before the entire market started crashing, was probably indicative of I'm pretty sure that everyone knew that the market was going to crash because of this. So that there would be a slight movement, or that there would be movement in general of the price of Bitcoin Cash, simply because that also got torn in half. So them trying to do that beforehand was probably trying to make sure that investors potentially got their money out of the system before the fork happened. No one knows, I mean, the exactness of how much of this is actually going on. But I think everyone is looking for someone to blame at the moment. And it's really just 2 people. It's not anyone else but 2 people. But from this, let's move on. Next up, gonna breeze through this one because it's a document published on the 12th of November on the official website of the Cyberspace Administration of China, or CAC, calls on the country to accelerate the development of standards for the blockchain industry. The text has been authored by the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, MIIT's Zhu Ping, who was also Secretary General of the China Blockchain Technology and Industry Development Forum and Director of the Software Engineering and Evaluation Center at China's Electronics Technology Standardization Research Institute. The document argues that the development of a reference blockchain architecture standard is of crucial importance for guiding the selection and application of blockchain systems across diverse domestic industries. It outlines the domestic blockchain standardization work, began as early as 2016 with the publication of the Development Forum's white paper, which stipulated 5 categories for blockchain standardization: foundation, processes and method, interoperability, business and applications, and information security. Without reading much further, all this tells me is that China is desperately trying to not even remain relevant. They're not very good at hiding their or making it or having a poker face, whatever you want to call it. They're trying so hard to not be a part of crypto while still being a part of crypto at the exact same time. Everything that they've done, everything that China has been showing us over the last couple of months makes it so clear that they desperately want to be part of the group. But they're like that person who sits on the sidelines too afraid to talk to anyone. China, at some point, in my opinion, is going to reallow cryptocurrencies within the country. We already know that it's legal there. I think that they're going to reallow cryptocurrency trading. I don't know if it's going to happen soon. I give it a year. And the way that it's going to play out, I'm pretty sure, is that they're going to do exactly whatever that other country is. I can't remember. That country that allowed 6 cryptocurrencies only within their country, if you can believe that, only 6. I think China's going to do the exact same thing. I can only imagine the amount of research that's going on behind doors where they're trying to figure out the coins that they can exactly find and pinpoint and trace and track, and that they know exactly what's going on. For those who don't know, China's biggest fear is money laundering. And this goes down to the government controls everything. And a lot of people, especially very rich people, are trying to find ways to get their money out of the market or out of China as easy as possible. And this presents a risk because what was happening already right now is that very rich people in China, they're simply buying up diamonds, or they buy up art or something else. They have it transported to London, and then they sell it in London, and they open up a bank account in London, and therefore their money's out of China. So when you officially allow cryptocurrency, especially trading within the country, and people have the potential to make so much money and then simply just send it to another crypto address around the world, and then they have their money in another country, state, whatever, however you kind of want to see it. China's desperate to make sure that they know exactly what's going on within their country. I can only imagine how insane the regulations around cryptocurrencies are going to be within that country. I can only assume it's going to be nothing like we've ever seen in the history of cryptocurrencies. They're going to make sure that they know who's breathing on a keyboard and who's thinking about trading cryptocurrencies. It's going to happen eventually. Like we had in the other video, they renamed the book Mastering Bitcoin into Mastering Blockchain. They're desperate to get into the space. They can't really figure out how, because I think the moment that they do say that they allow cryptocurrency trading, I think a part of them, I almost said like a Harry Potter reference. The point is Horcruxes. I think that'll definitely be one of theirs, because they'll lose a part of their strength over their money that's in the country. But once again, this all kind of, for me, ties into these other 2 stories as well. I think China mentioned about having their own central bank digital currency. I can only assume that that'll also take a couple of years. And I wonder exactly how the situation is going to fare should Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies end up having record prices and therefore more popularity around the world. And to kind of just tie this up, Stellar Lumens has managed to overtake Bitcoin Cash, and I believe it is now the 4th largest cryptocurrency. Not by a lot, but it's very significant simply because Bitcoin Cash is continuously crashing. It tries to go back up and then slams back down. I think the largest amount that it was down was, I think, like 49% or something like that. And that's over a 24-hour period. Not much has really changed. The market seems like it's trying to save itself a tiny bit. Even in my last video, XRP was, what's it called? XRP was the only coin that was in the green. I think Bitcoin was around 4,700 or something like that. And as Bitcoin continues to fall down, it's now putting an enormous amount of pressure on every other coin to continue falling down. But Bitcoin Cash has its own pressure. So very nice to see that Stellar has moved up. I don't know how much longer it's going to last. I think, or rather I could see, I could see Bitcoin Cash taking it over again. Bitcoin Cash has a lot of support, whether you want to like it or believe it or not. I could definitely see it taking back the spot again. And I could also see EOS. That would be kind of nice for EOS. I think I would like if Bitcoin Cash was like the 18th coin. Just it was like nowhere near the top. It gets far too much attention for what it doesn't do. It's not really that relevant. I mean, if you want to see it that way, it helped to crash the market, so it's relevant in some sense. But yeah, Stellar's number 4. I'm pretty sure the Stellar fans out there are liking that, as it is closer to the number, or top 3 rather. But yeah, that is definitely going to do it for this video. No, the market's still red, but make sure that you have a good day. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day. Morning, afternoon, and or evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you once again for watching and or listening. I do appreciate all of your support. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. See you.